first notice when that first tensing up happens inside your body. Where does it happen? What do you feel? And then relax the muscles around it. Just as with learning anything else new, when you're deciding to start practicing surrender, start with the smaller stuff, start with the easier stuff. Michael Singer calls this the low-hanging fruit, and he often gives the example of low-hanging fruit being traffic and weather. So many times it happens to us when we're driving, where we're stuck in a traffic jam, or somebody cuts us off, or the driver in front of us is driving too slow. There are so many opportunities to practice surrender when we are driving. So how we do this is, first, put your attention in your body. Like when you're going about your day, whether it's driving or doing anything else, keep some amount of your attention in your body. And as you start practicing this, you will get better at noticing what happens in your body when some sort of disturbance comes. So let's say you're driving and the driver in front of you is driving too slow. When that feeling of anger or frustration, when it first starts to rise up, you will notice it somewhere in your body. It could be like a tightness in your chest, or maybe in your gut, or it depends on you where you will feel it. I usually feel this sort of stuff right here in the right side of my chest in the form of tightness or tension or heaviness. And when I'm feeling some bigger emotions, bigger than I would in a traffic jam or with the driver in front of me, then I would often even feel, in addition to heaviness and tightness, I would also feel pain and burning. So anyway, put your attention on where you're feeling that frustration, anger, whatever you're feeling about the driver in front of you. Where are you feeling it in your body? And put your attention on that. And then try to physically relax around that area. And before I go more into this relax and release, which Michael Singer calls this relax and release, I just want to emphasize on the first step, which is noticing. So usually we go about our day, we get triggered, we get angry, we react. We don't even notice that there was a body sensation accompanying that emotion. But if you start practicing putting more of your attention into your body, and I'm not saying 100%, of course you can't do that because you're driving, you have to focus on other things as you're driving. But even if you have a little bit of your attention, like 10%, in your body sensations, and you noticed that point when something disturbed you and you started feeling it somewhere in your body, some sort of tightness, some sort of heaviness or pain, like I described, just noticing that is a big win. That's a huge step in your spiritual growth journey. And I was myself in this place where I didn't even notice. I would get triggered, I would start reacting, and I didn't even know anything was happening in my body. But since I have actively started practicing this work of surrender and relax and release, I'm able to notice it faster and faster. And it still varies. So let's say I'm very angry. Maybe I'm just in a reactive mode, and after 10 seconds or after maybe 1 minute, I notice that, oh, I'm feeling the anger right here. Something is feeling tight right here. So step one is noticing. And that's a huge win in itself, because most of the world goes about their day reacting, yelling, swearing, not even noticing at all that any changes are happening in their body as they're feeling these feelings. And then step two is what Michael Singer calls relax and release. And I have made a separate video about how I do this process of relax and release, which is to allow that emotion, whether it's big or small, to pass through you, not to tense up, but instead to physically relax your muscles around that area of tightness or pain or heaviness. And that's opposite of your default reaction. Your default reaction will be to tense up and resist that emotion. But what Michael Singer is suggesting with relax and release is to relax the muscles instead of tensing them up, and to instead of resisting that emotion, because these emotions are uncomfortable. We don't want to feel that anger and fear or whatever we're feeling. So we try to resist it. But he says, allow it, because what is energy? I mean, what is emotion? Emotion is just energy trying to pass through you. So just let it pass through you. And I know this is easier said than done, but with practice, and that's why we're starting with the smaller things like traffic and weather. With practice, you will get better at it. And then you're able to apply it to bigger stuff that triggers you as well. So the details of how exactly all the steps of relax and release, how I handle my difficult emotions, that's all I have covered in a separate video. I will link that in the description below. So this was one example where you can practice surrender, which is when you're driving and all these situations happen that trigger you. Now, let me give you an example of weather. So Michael Singer often gives this example that you were planning on going camping and it's raining, and so now you can't go camping. And then you're so upset. It's almost like a toddler throwing a tantrum. Why did it have to rain? And when I had planned this, and God doesn't like me, and this and that. Like, we go so dramatic in a reaction when something like weather does not cooperate, right? It's not personal. The weather did not decide that it should rain only to piss you off. No, that's not the case. The weather is determined by, meteorological factors that are happening. Clouds had too much moisture, so they had to shed that moisture. They had to do their own letting go. So now that's a reminder for you to let go. So same thing. First, notice that you're angry, you're upset, you're like, why did it have to rain, right? Or it could be something else. It could be, why is it so hot? It's so hot, I'm burning up, and I want to go in the air-conditioned room or something. You could be upset about anything to do with weather, and there can be bigger things too, like tsunamis, hurricanes, and tornadoes. So lots of opportunities to surrender with respect to weather, but try when it's the smaller things, like it's too hot, or it's raining, or it's, for me, because I live in Canada and it snows here a lot. In the past, I used to complain about it being too cold. Oh, I can't go for a walk. And, I'm a person who loves going outside. I'm a nature person, nature lover, and I love going on walks. And usually in February, there will be at least like 2 weeks where I live where it's really cold and I cannot go for a walk. I mean, I can if I really bundled up in a snowsuit and toque and everything, but I don't like doing that. So I would still go out when it's cold, but not when it's like minus 30, minus 40. So I used to complain about that. But now, because I'm following Michael Singer's teachings and practicing the low-hanging fruit, opportunities to surrender like traffic and weather, now I don't think I complained even once in this winter. It's just like... It's easy for me now to not complain about weather because I have practiced this stuff for almost a year. But it's the same thing. First, notice when that first tensing up happens inside your body. Where does it happen? What do you feel? And then relax the muscles around it. Relax your shoulders, your chest, your tummy. Relax whatever you can, because you may not be able to relax that epicenter of disturbance. So just relax around it, right? And allow that emotion of anger, frustration, disappointment to pass through you. And deep breaths can help. And doing meditation can help. Doing mantra can help. Michael Singer suggests using the mantra, I can handle this, as you're trying to relax and release. And I often use that. Sometimes I tweak it to say, we can handle this. And I detail all that in the video that I have linked in the description below about how I handle my difficult emotions. So these are 2 opportunities where I would recommend that you start practicing surrender, and any other little things in your day-to-day life where you are just mildly upset or mildly annoyed are also great opportunities to practice surrender, to say, and you can use positive thinking in this too, in addition to the noticing the body sensation and then doing the relax and release. Positive thinking can go a long way. Like, okay, I was, let's say, going to have this meeting. It was very important to me. And now this person canceled last minute, right? And then maybe you can flip it to like reframe it to be something positive, like, okay, well, now I have this 1 hour free. So now I can spend this 1 hour on catching up on this other project that has been sitting in the back burner for a while. So I was struggling to find time for this, and now look, all of a sudden I have 1 extra hour, so I'm going to catch up on this project. So something like that. You can figure out your own positive reframing, but these are my recommendations, and they're based on Michael Singer's teachings. I want to give so much gratitude to him for helping me learn how to surrender, and I would recommend, if you haven't already, read his book called The Surrender Experiment. It's a beautiful book, and that's what started me on this journey of practicing surrender in my own life. And I can absolutely say that doing this work is bringing me closer to unconditional joy, and that's my wish for you as well.